You ever stop to think about why we talk about the weather so much? I mean, on the surface, it feels like the definition of small talk. But if you dig a little deeper, you'll find there's this really fascinating structure to it all. It shows us how we connect, how we make plans, and just how we get through the day. All right, let's get into it and break down the anatomy of our everyday weather talk.
It almost always kicks off with something super simple like this, right? It's not really a question looking for new information. It's more like an invitation. It's this friendly, totally safe way to open up a conversation based on the one thing we're all experiencing together right here and right now.
So here's the thing. The point of these openings isn't to actually report the weather. We can all see it's sunny. It's about establishing a shared reality. Think of it like a social handshake. By just pointing out the obvious, what we're really saying is, hey, I see you, I'm here too, and I'm open to connecting. It's the absolute fastest way to find some common ground.
And notice how we describe that common ground. We use these perfectly balanced, kind of vague terms. It's never about the specific degrees, Celsius, or Fahrenheit. It's all about a feeling of shared comfort. Saying it's not too hot, not too cold, is a surefire way to get a nod of agreement and just keep the conversation rolling.
Okay, so from that simple start, the conversation almost always gets a little more personal pretty quickly. We start sharing a little piece of ourselves by getting into the great debate, our favorite, and of course, our least favorite, seasons.
And this is where you see the two main camps form. You've got your spring lovers, who are all about that new life and seeing all the flowers blooming. And then you've got the autumn crew, who are all about the beauty in the colors of the leaves. It's this friendly little debate based entirely on what we like to see.
But what's really interesting is how we keep things balanced. Even when we're gushing about our favorite, we're quick to admit its flaws. So that beautiful autumn is immediately followed by the practical reality that it gets cold quickly. It just shows we're not being unrealistic, we're sharing a genuine, nuanced experience.
And let's be real, it's just as easy to bond over shared complaints. For a lot of people, winter is the ultimate villain because it's just too cold and dark. But for others, summer brings its own misery, feeling too hot and dry. Our complaints really reveal what kind of discomfort we hate the most.
This brings us to a core part of weather talk. We're always weighing the pros and cons. Pretty much every type of weather has this dual nature, a beautiful side and a problematic one. And our conversations jump between both of them.
I mean, just think about snow. The first reaction is almost always about how it looks. There's this undeniable magic to a fresh blanket of snow. It's so quiet and beautiful to look at. It's the postcard version of winter, you know?
But the conversation never ever stays there for long. That beauty gets slopped with a dose of reality, fast. That same gorgeous snow is suddenly terrible for driving, which immediately brings the chat back down to earth to real-world worries about just getting around safely.
Here's a lighter example, but it follows the exact same pattern. A windy day can be a ton of fun, right? It's objectively great for flying kites, and it brings up these images of being outdoors and having a good time.
And yet, that same fun wind has a personal, annoying downside. It messes up my hair. This little jump from a positive activity to a minor personal headache is a perfect example of how we're always balancing the good and the bad in our weather reports.
And these practical pains can get really specific, especially during extreme weather. We talk about our gardens, where the poor plants get so thirsty, and the lawn turns completely brown. And then, of course, we talk about our wallets, complaining about those high electricity bills because, well, it's just expensive to stay cool.
All this focus on the practical stuff leads right into the next major job of weather talk. It's a huge tool for making decisions. Our daily plans, whether it's simple chores or weekend fun, are often completely dictated by what the forecast says. So picture this. You hear this number in the forecast, a 50% chance of rain. Now that isn't just a piece of data, it's a call to action. It forces you to start doing some mental math about how you're going to spend your time.
So you've got a chore that needs doing, like washing your car, but there's a risk of rain on the horizon. What's the smart move? The conversation naturally shifts into a planning session.
And this whole process breaks down into some pretty simple logic. First, you observe what's happening right now. The weather's perfect. Second, you consider the future, that 50% chance of rain. And third, you make a decision. I'll do it this morning. Just like that, weather talk becomes a tool for managing our lives.
Finally, our weather talk isn't just about the here and now. A huge part of it is about looking ahead, usually with this sense of shared hope that better days are coming.
I mean, this question is so common, especially after a long, cold stretch. It's a hunt for reassurance.
We're not just asking for data points. We're expressing this collective desire for a change, for warmth, for things to feel a little more pleasant.
And the forecast? Well, it often delivers exactly the comfort we're looking for. A simple phrase like, "I think next week will be warmer," can give us this real sense of relief and a timeline to look forward to. It lets us feel optimistic and start planning for a better future, together. So, the next time you comment on a beautiful day or grumble about the rain, just remember that you're doing so much more than stating the obvious. You're connecting, you're sharing, you're planning, and you're hoping. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What does your weather talk say about you?